A good day to you. Welcome to RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLawrence Yankee. Hello there.
Hello. Hey, before I forget it, we want to talk about the awesome opportunity in Farm Week in the classified section. If you're looking to buy or sell, check it out. You can call them at 800-573-6120 or submit online at farmweeknow.com. Let's say, if you're looking for a hot tub or something like that.
Hot tub, that'd be something to find in Farm Week, wouldn't it?
Yes.
One of the things this time of year people go to is the Farm Week Crop Watchers.
Yes.
You visited with one of those yesterday.
Indeed. Ron Moore, past president of the American Soybean Association. They got an early start, fortunately, for them on that Warren County farm. However, with all of the recent rains, which nobody needs, they're wondering about the condition ratings, and we found out a little bit more about that in those USDA numbers.
Yeah, we'll have numbers for you in just a little bit. And, boy, we saw so many cases of people who had been replanting, trying to get in there, and then rains Friday and Saturday, they may have to replant the replant, which is getting awfully late for that sort of thing.
It certainly is. One of the things that did not have to do necessarily with the weather, our conversation yesterday in RFD Today with the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, the one, the only, Colleen Callahan. So we'll talk a little bit about the synergy that's happening with that agency and other state agencies, plus a preview of Conservation World.
Oh, gosh, that's less than 2 months away now.
Crazy.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
It sure does. Plus, we'll have markets and weather. Stay with us. This is RFD, Illinois.
With this week's edition of Farm Week, the early word, here's DeLawrence Yankee.
Most Illinois farmers finally got a window of planting opportunity when Mother Nature recently shut off the rain faucet. Check out the latest edition of Farm Week to find out more about planting progress and continued discussion about prevent planting decisions. Cover crops could prove a big benefit for farmers opting to take prevent planting coverage. Turn to Farm Week to learn about cover crop recommendations from Illinois Nutrient Research and Education Council researchers. Farm Week, arriving soon in your mailbox.
No other farm weekly in Illinois has as many people on the ground in Illinois covering Illinois agriculture for you with the depth on key issues to help keep you profitable. And don't forget, you can get daily or even more frequent updates online anytime at farmweeknow.com.
When you're ready to list your large acreage farm or recreational property, nothing is more important than a quick sell at the right price. That's why it's important you call the original land specialist. Buy a Farm Land and Auction Company has buyers ready to buy. Visit us today at buyafarm.com.
Welcome back to RFD, Illinois. On a Tuesday, I'm DeLawrence Yankee. Not good when your two most productive corn planting weeks came in early June. But that is, in fact, what we had. 2 weeks ago, we were 45% complete for corn planting. Last week, 73%, and as of Sunday, 88% complete, according to Ag Statistics. 74% emerged behind a 5-year average of 99. And wondering at this point as well, given the rains we had over the weekend, what do we have? Some folks may need to replant the replanted areas. Soybean planting is now 70% complete. A whole lot has been planted in just the last 2 weeks, but still behind the 5-year average of 95%, and that basically accounts for double crop acres to come. Emerge, 50% complete, is behind the 5-year average of 88. Winter wheat harvest as of Sunday is 6% behind the 5-year average of 21. First cutting of alfalfa, 73% behind the 5-year average of 89. Last week, temperatures were actually 5.7 degrees less than average, 66.2 degrees. And precipitation, an inch 48, was half an inch more than normal. The biggest amount was in the east-southeast, 2 1/3. Southwest Illinois only at about 6/10. Most of the state had between 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. Topsoil moisture in the state is rated 36% surplus, 62% adequate, 2% short. Subsoil moisture is 41% surplus, 57% adequate, and 2% short. We'll get an update now from Ken Casson, our farmer and farm broadcaster in McLean and Livingston counties.
The planting has ramped up at our farm. We pushed it pretty hard the past 2 weeks with long days and short nights, but it was worth it. The crops went in the ground well, and the rains came once the seeds were in. It amazes me how fast newly planted corn and beans start poking through the ground this time of year. A few of our beans were planted prior to corn this year, and some of our corn didn't get into the ground until early June. That tells you how strange of a spring we've had here. Time will tell how these crops do during the summer and how harvest will go this fall. Our friends to the north are probably still trying to finish up planting if they haven't already. Those farmers have had it much worse than we have this spring and finally got a decent weather window to get something done this month. In fact, the major news networks picked up on the severity of the lateness by sending crews out to the fields of northern Illinois. Our neighbor to the south and west, Brian Schomburg, who farms in McLean County, says we're in a pretty good spot around here.
Right here in Yates and Chenoa Township, for the most part, we're probably the luckiest place among a few others in the state. We've got corn in relatively good shape compared to everybody else. Right before the planting deadline, most of ours was in May. Beans were all in really good shape and up and growing.
Thanks to Brian Schomburg for the update this week. Reporting from southeast Livingston County for the RFD Radio Network, I'm Kent Casson.
Thanks, Kent. And plenty of rain now. Some folks got some yesterday. There's more to come tomorrow, and then a whole lot more to come as well Friday and through the weekend. Brad Rippey is USDA's chief meteorologist.
And if you draw a big box from, say, Nebraska to Oklahoma, stretch that all the way east of Virginia and New York, and follow the dots there, pretty much everything within that box is going to see 2 to 5 inches of rain over the next 7 days. Would not surprise me to see some 5 to 7 or even higher inch totals as you move into southern parts of Illinois and Indiana over the next week. That's going to be from 3 primary disturbances, maybe a 4th at the tail end of that 7-day period. And each one of those will really serve the function to organize the showers and thunderstorms that tend to form in the afternoon and evening hours. So we'll see, obviously, one event underway as we speak. There will be another one midweek, another one as we head into the weekend, and likely a 4th event early next week. So each one of those, 1 to 2 days apart, will help to really generate widespread showers and thunderstorms across a huge area of the country, and certainly an area that does not need more moisture at this point.
USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey was a guest on RFD Profit Watch. Nationwide, 92% of corn has been planted, 77% for soybeans. Several states still way behind, along with Illinois, like Missouri, as well as Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. More to come on RFD, Illinois.
Are dicamba products an important part of your toolbox this planting season? The state of Illinois has revised the cutoff date for their use. You can use the products over the top of soybeans until whichever of these comes first. 45 days post-planting, your soybeans reach the V4 or R1 growth stage depending on the product, or July 15th. State-specific labels work in conjunction with federal labels, so make sure you read and follow both. Remember, the label is the law. To find out more, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
The Illinois economy runs on our homegrown agricultural products. Our dairy, beef, pork, corn, and soybeans grow the agricultural industry by nearly $20 billion each year. But we don't just grow Illinois, we grow North America. Canada and Mexico account for over $45 billion in U.S. agricultural exports, and they support more than 1 million American jobs. Exports to Canada and Mexico matter to everyone in the agriculture and food industries.
A message from Illinois farmers and their checkoff programs.
As a farmer, your needs are constantly changing, and Country Financial is here to continuously change with you to meet those needs. That's why we're expanding our crop hail coverage to now include industrial hemp crops, a legal agricultural commodity according to the 2018 Farm Bill. As you add new crops to your operation, we're here growing with you every step of the way. Learn more at countryfinancial.com/hemp coverage. Crop hail insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Welcome back to RFD, Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee. The 2019 growing season was off to a good start in west central Illinois. Our crop watcher in Warren County is Ron Moore, but boy, has it been awfully wet lately. For Ron, it has been an adventure getting the soybeans in the ground.
We finished planting corn April 27th, so we had a really normal planting on corn, and then it started raining, and we didn't get finished on soybeans until June 7th. And we did have about 40 acres of corn that we had to replant in the ponded areas where when the water finally did evaporate and dry up. Why, we've got that, and that's up now. So if we can continue to get some nice weather the rest of the summer, why, things will be better than the outlook here months ago.
Yeah, so you guys really did get into that window that most Illinois farmers did not. So if you had to give a condition rating for all those crops, what would it be right now?
If you didn't know what the calendar said, it'd probably be, pretty decent, but we're months to 6 weeks behind, so it's hard to give a condition rating right now. But I would expect our corn yields to be 10 to 20% off our average, and the soybeans yields to be probably 10 to 15% off of our average expectations.
Ron Moore visited with Rita Fraser yesterday. He's a Farm Week crop watcher. You can find his and the other reports in each week's edition of Farm Week. Talk about something optimistic here, and that was from Rita's conversation with Colleen Callahan, Director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, was a guest on yesterday's RFD Today.
Well, I tell you, I'm optimistic in that we have a budget, we have a capital plan now that we can look forward to in beginning to build back and make repairs that have been long overdue in our parks and many of our facilities throughout the state. It doesn't mean that we'll be there tomorrow making those repairs, but it means that now that we can plan to do so, get them scheduled, and soon, hopefully, we'll be able to see progress made throughout what we expect to see when we visit our areas that represent our natural resources.
So how did you, we were talking about some things that we might discuss today, and I looked on your website to look at all of the different departments that fall under your umbrella of IDNR. The average listener out there, I'm not sure that, most people understand just how many things you guys are responsible for.
I think you're right, and me included, Rita. I did my due diligence, my homework. This was not in my day planner, but I was asked if I would consider it. And upon consideration, when I began to do my research, just to prepare myself for my interview with the governor, I, like you, thought I had no idea of the breadth, the depth, the magnitude of the responsibilities in this department, because what we know mostly is the face of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, and that's a deer and a duck. And that is our lead. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's who we are. It's part of what we do with our division that has all of the permitting, the licensing for hunting and fishing and camping and boating, and that's what we resonate with most quickly. However, as you well point out, there's mines and minerals, oil and gas that we're responsible for, our water resources. When we talk about conservation, that includes our fisheries and our forestry department, as well as our nursery that we have as well. Our heritage, one of your public service announcements just a moment ago was about the Monarch Butterfly Project that we're working with Illinois Farm Bureau and the Department of Agriculture to make sure that we do everything that we can with our pollinator plots to keep the monarch butterfly off the endangered species list. I haven't yet even mentioned lands, which is all of our parks. And I'm on my way to one of them right now, the Jim Edgar Panther Creek State Park. The historic sites, Lincoln, New Salem, Cahokia, Dixon Mounds, and all of the museums. And did I mention that we have an extensive grant department, which means that communities can look to the Department of Natural Resources to help them with their needs through grants for their parks or maybe their historic sites. It is a breathtaking and really overwhelming responsibility for everyone who works at the Department of Natural Resources, currently all 1,136 of us.
Wow. So over 1,000 employees, and we have time maybe to start a conversation. When you talked about the pollinator program, the Monarch Butterfly Project, back a few weeks ago when you joined John Sullivan at the State Fairgrounds, putting those programs into play, into action, what a great way to start a joint effort for the State Fair.
Absolutely, and joint is exactly the right word. When John and I co-chaired the transition team for agriculture and rural development, it became clear that there were synergies there where we needed to work together. When those participants would talk about topics that they wanted to elevate for discussion, and talked about the nutrient loss reduction strategy, talked about cover crops. Aren't we talking about the preservation of soil, and aren't we talking about clean water? And those are things that we should be working on together. They shouldn't just be in the jurisdiction of one department or another, but there are multiple departments that should be working together. And John and I are really pleased and proud to make this the Monarch Butterfly Project, but the first one that we can really tout that we're working on together.
Colleen Callahan at Department of Natural Resources visited yesterday with our own Rita Frazier as we break now for markets and weather.
Here's your Tuesday morning ag market summary on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Rita Frazier. We closed higher yesterday, but in the overnight, it's a turnaround Tuesday. We'll get to those overnight numbers in just a sec. Let's recap what happened in your Monday trading. Corn futures closed off the highs in the front months, up 1 to 3 1/4 cents, as new crop contracts saw 4 to 6 1/4 cent gains yesterday. Strength in beans was supportive. After the close, then those NASS numbers came out. Reported U.S. corn 92% planted as of the weekend, in line with most estimates and lagging that 5-year average of 100%. Emergence on the corn 79%, 18% below normal. Beans posted 15 to 16 1/4 cent gains in most contracts yesterday. Rains and forecast for more moisture along the Corn Belt this week, supportive to bean prices. Now here in the overnight, as we mentioned, we are starting the day lower in a turnaround Tuesday morning. In the July corn, we're down 8 1/4, 446 1/2. Dees down 8 1/4, 460 1/4. Your March corn here in the overnight, we're down 6 3/4 at 466 1/4. July soybeans down 3, 909 3/4, and the August down 3. November soybeans down 3. We're at 936 1/2. In the wheat overnight trade, July down 11 3/4. December down 11 1/2 at 542 1/2. Checking outside markets, in the crude oil, July down 27, 51.66. August down 28 at 51.89. July gold up $6 this morning. We're trading at 13.46. Those are your numbers on the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning ag weather update on the RFD Radio Network for this Tuesday morning. Greatest coverage of rain across Illinois the past 24 hours occurred in the southern half of the state, and much of the southern Midwest did report additional rain during this time. Farther north, coverage of showers was quite a bit more spotty, and any rain that did fall was on the light side. Daytime highs across the Midwest yesterday were again in the 70s and 80s, with a few cooler readings in the north. Greatest coverage of rain across Illinois today will again favor the southern half of the state through at least the early part of the afternoon, as a stalled system still stretches across the southern Midwest. Chances for a few showers will occur farther north in the western Midwest today, and farther north in Illinois a bit later today and tonight, as this system lifts slowly northward as a warm front. Daytime highs today in the 70s and 80s will be common. This weather system will affect the Midwest for the next several days, as it will be stalled across the region through the weekend, bringing fairly frequent chances for showers and thunderstorms, with some rain in the Midwest just about each day through the weekend into early next week. Daytime highs in the 70s and 80s will continue to be fairly common across most of the area. 5-day rainfall amounts in the 1 to 3 inch range will be common across much of the Midwest through the weekend, and it does look like this active weather pattern will continue at least into the early part of the 6 to 10 day time frame, with 6 to 10 day rainfall amounts averaging near to above normal in most areas. A few northern parts of the Midwest may see some lighter 6 to 10 day rainfall. 6 to 10 day temperatures will be fairly close to normal here in Illinois. Coolest readings will be to the west and warmest readings to the east. It still looks like for the 11 to 15 day time frame, we'll see a generally warmer weather pattern across the Midwest with above normal temperatures in most areas and a tendency for near to below normal rainfall in most of the region. Once again, I'm Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather.
Attention, Illinois farmers. You won't want to miss this field day at SIU Carbondale University Farms. It's your chance to hear from industry experts about ongoing research and how it will benefit your farm. Join us on June 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with free lunch included. This is a joint effort of the SIU College of Agricultural Sciences, Illinois Nutrient Research and Education Council, and Illinois Farm Bureau. You must pre-register at IllinoisNREC.org and click on upcoming events.
We know you want the best for your family. We do too. That's why Illinois farmers continually look for new ways to help. We're working with Mother Nature to preserve water, protect land, and provide food. From our fields to your table, we want what's best for all of us and for future generations to come. Learn more about conservation efforts at ilfarmersconserve.com. Preserving our water, protecting our land, providing our food.
This message brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau.
When it comes to social media, Sabrina Berkowitz connects rural routes for you. Sabrina covers a broad range of ag topics, so Farm Bureau members are the first to know about key issues. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up with a grain and livestock farm in my extended family, and today I really enjoy helping people learn how to use social media to advocate for agriculture.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Spring is here and things are buzzing. Farmers and pollinators are working together to help feed us. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists because of bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other insects. Pollinators are important to our food system and the ecosystem overall. That's why farmers and those in the agricultural industry are working together to protect pollinators through education, research, and conservation efforts. Visit ilagformonarchs.org to join the buzz. That's ilagformonarchs.org.
Hey, that's all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Thanks for spending some time with us.
That's right. We always salute a community. Usually it's either a city or a village or an unincorporated. But
right.
In this case, I found a ghost town, actually listed as a ghost town, Dutton in Pike County. Going to Griggsville today for Western Illinois Fair is this week, where they have 2 different nights of Demolition Derby.
Wow.
They like to knock into each other over there.
Not one, but 2 nights.
2 full nights of Demolition Derby. Sponsored by Country Financial. Your farm is your family's legacy. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, we're here to protect the things you love every step of the way. Country Financial. Learn more at countrycrop.com.
For the vacationing Jim Taylor, I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Have a great day.